Good evening, good evening, good evening. What's going on, good people? My name is Marcus Thomas. Welcome to the Pro Fan. I was about to say Pro Fan Podcast. Welcome to Pro Fan Talk. Took me back for a second. How's everybody doing tonight? Happy Thursday to you. One day before Friday. Friday's the day before the weekend. You know how it rolls. Got a special guest for you tonight. Got to talk to a friend of mine. And I'm going to share that conversation with you. Some things straight away. We had some breaking news right before I went on the air. Well, at least it was breaking news to me. So we're going to go over a couple things, and we might talk about it a little bit later at the end. But, man, Sammy Watkins going to Green Bay. They keep packing it up. They better have done something because you gotta have somebody for Aaron Rodgers to throw to. So I think that was a good signing. No information on the contract. Not that it really matters, but I'm sure he's probably not getting as much as, some of the other ones, Devontae and Tyreek and all that kind of stuff. But I'm sure he has been compensated nicely. So that was the first thing that popped up. And then, of course, here in Philly, Rodney Mccloud, he is in Indy. Again, I'm not sure what the contract stipulations are, but he is in Indy. That will definitely be a good pickup for them. Bolster the defense a little bit, give Matt Ryan a little bit of help on the other side of the ball. Even me being an offensive guy, former running back, I will be the first one to tell you defense wins championships. So I do believe Matt Ryan is going to bring some stability to Indy. And McLeod's a good pickup on their defense. So good for them. And what was next? Kyler Murray. I don't know what the situation is with Kyler Murray. That is just not sure what really is going on with that. I don't know if somebody pissed him off or I don't know. Frank, what's good, dude? TK, I see you. Chris, I see you. Chris, don't say nothing too loud. I want your mouth to hurt. But yeah, man, I don't know what's going on with Kyler Murray. You would have thought that everything was good. They had a good year. They fizzled out in the playoffs. So did a whole bunch of other teams. But he got like a lot of hate. People saying he was acting like a baby and stuff like that. And I'm like, where did all of this come from? Where did all of this mess come from? Don't know. Clearly, there's more to this story. I haven't heard much of anything as far as, in the stuff coming out of the locker room. And again, you hearing the stuff from the talking heads on TV and all that kind of stuff. Jake, what's going on, dude? Not Jake from State Farm. But yeah, I don't know. That's a weird situation because Kyler Murray does not seem like he's not like a diva type player. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's something totally different behind the scenes, but I don't know. That's a weird situation. So, and what was next? This dude, man, listen, I had to find a picture that was about as ludicrous as the stuff that he said. And it's like, come on, man. Like, really? So you guys have heard me say, and you will hear me say that I'm looking to get a couple of my friends together, some more ex-players. Rob, what's up, fam? Good to see you, brother. Thanks for joining the chat. I want to get some ex-players together, and just so we can have a good conversation to speak on the effect that social media has on like the sports world. Ever since the dude, I believe it was Julian Edelman, ever since that girl took a picture with him when he was asleep, this whole social media thing has flipped, and people will flip that on you in a second for their gain. The flip side of that is just because you can say something doesn't mean that you should. Everybody's jumping on social media and doing things like they are experts. And you can just say any old thing you want to. Now, well, let me say this. You can say anything you want to say. Should you? Probably not. And whatever you do say, if it ruffles some feathers, you better be willing to take the L. Now, I don't know where Cam Newton stands at I guess, with his career, because the last 3 years has been suspect at best. And that guy that went to the Super Bowl was pulling the Superman chess move and all of that kind of stuff. That dude is long gone. And it seems like he's getting the reputation that when things don't go his way, it's always everybody else's fault. Again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I got the wrong opinion, but that's what it looks like. So we'll get into that a little bit more. But he's just, you know what? Sometimes you don't have to say nothing. Just don't say nothing. But hey, big egos have big mouths, so you know how that goes. What's up, Vince? Debo Samuel has pulled all the 49er stuff off his Instagram page as well. What? That's the universal symbol of I want to get traded now. Pull all your stuff off of Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. That's funny. Yeah, well, I mean, I guess if that's the thing to do, that's the thing to do. Maybe they all need to go and talk to this guy. I heard that story today, and I was like, wait a minute, what? So if you have not heard, apparently, Floyd Mayweather is offering any team that signs Antonio Brown. He's saying, I will pay the team $20 million if it doesn't work out. Let me say that again. Floyd Mayweather is saying, any team that signs Antonio Brown, Floyd Mayweather, will pay them $20 million if it doesn't work out. So if he pulls another, pull the pads off and go shirtless into the end zone, back into the stadium, if he pulls another move like that, he's saying he will pay for it. Floyd Mayweather will pay for it. And I'm like, okay, so you're willing to pay $20 million just to give him license to just act a fool. So he gets impunity to just do whatever he wants, and you're saying you're going to pick up the bill. You might want to renegotiate that contract, Floyd. I know you got a lot of money, and I know $20 million might be a drop in the bucket for you, but it's still $20 million, and you don't look like somebody that likes to waste money. I can be wrong. But that's crazy. Yeah, I'm with you, Chris. What's the definition that doesn't work out? That's a very broad horizon now. So, and I, in my opinion, Antonio Brown is just he done burnt those bridges. Anytime the GOAT Tom Brady brings you down to the team, lets you stay in the house and all of that kind of stuff, and you crap on the team like you did, regardless of who was right or who was wrong, the optics of it was not good. The optics of it was not good. John, will the NFL accept a condition like that? No. But it's not necessarily an NFL thing. That's almost like the same as a couple of months ago, who was going to sign Deshaun Watson with all of this stuff going on? All it takes is one team to say, we're desperate enough to give it a shot. There's always a shot. Pete, I'm right there with you. It's definitely a problem. TK 1 year, $4 million for Sammy Watkins. Okay. Sammy Watkins got a little bit paid. Not a huge contract, but he's a good player, so modest. I don't know. I don't think a team, if a team's desperate enough for a wide receiver, and I am almost positive that before they would go into something like that, they would discuss the terms of the contract and all of that kind of stuff. There's too many loopholes and financial mumbo jumbo that they would have to jump through before a team would be stupid enough to make that happen. However, seeing as some of the things that we've seen this past year, and I'm not necessarily talking about teams, I'm talking about what the ownership does. You look at the situation with Dan Snyder. They treat like Al Capone. They couldn't catch Al Capone for smuggling the booze and all of that kind of stuff. So they ended up getting him on the money. And that's what they're doing with Daniel Snyder. They can't. What's up, Tom? They can't get him on all of the impropriety he was doing and the, bad behavior he was exhibiting in front of his organization. They can't get that, even though the NFL did a deep investigation and didn't want to hear their own investigation. That's another story. But so they're going to get him on the money. So, and it don't matter what the NFL does, because now the IRS is trying to get their money because he was, trying to skirt the system. So now IRS going to get their money. Uncle Sam going to get paid. So it's very interesting. NFL is a gift that keeps on giving. We done had lawsuits. We had other people. We had the whole Mike Malarkey situation come out. That's just dropping a bomb. Something that you knew it was there, but now you've got some validity to it. So now it's got some teeth. So that is interesting. The NFL is just not in a good spot right now. With all of the craziness of free agency and the upcoming draft, all of that is good stuff. But the looming black cloud of John Gruden, Brian Flores, the owner in Miami, Ross, all of this stuff, Daniel Snyder, it's just one thing after another. And it really is, eventually all this stuff is going to come out. And now it's all coming out at the same time. Because I still go back to the whole situation with Gruden. Gruden wasn't talking to himself on them emails where he was saying all of that foul stuff. He wasn't talking to himself. So he had to be talking to somebody that speaks the same language. And if he's talking to another owner or another high-ranking exec, that means that exec speaks that language, and he's talking to other owners and execs that speak that same language. So it's permeating throughout the league. Everybody is just being quiet now. But I would gather to think that there are a lot of high executives and owners, NFL owners, who were sweating a little bit. Because if whatever is in emails and stuff like that gets out, it's going to be a whole lot of people in a whole lot of hurt. Because the one thing I figured out, and this is just from, all my years working at Apple and being in technology and all of that kind of stuff. Listen, people in high positions do not know how to operate their stuff. They're used to delegating. So when it comes time to changing your password on your iPhone or figuring out what your email is, most people in high positions, they delegate that out. So when it comes time to really do something, they have no idea on how that stuff works. That's how all these people are getting caught. The dude in the NBA, Sterling, was it Sterling? When the girl recorded, like, they don't know how all of that stuff works. And these NFL owners are the same way. So I guarantee you there's probably some bad language in some emails going from owner to owner. And the NFL is doing everything they can. Roger Goodell is earning his money. People say Roger Goodell is not doing a good job. I beg to differ. He works for the owners. And they are taking that man through the ringer, trying to cover up for their nonsense. But in any case, got a friend of mine who stopped by and talk to me. We were supposed to go live, but he couldn't make it, so we did a pre-record, and we got a good conversation in. And I would love to introduce you to my friend, my fraternity brother, A5A, Dialleo Burks. Diallo is we played together at Eastern Kentucky, and he played here in Philly, and he also played in Carolina and a whole bunch of arena teams. And now he's a head coach at Warren University and coached with the Bears, knows Matt Nagy, like a whole bunch of stuff. So let me stop talking and let me get you into this conversation with Dialleo Burks. Former Philadelphia Eagle, former Carolina Panther, former coach for the Chicago Bears in many an arena team. My man Dialleo Burks, what's going on, brother? How you been?
Good, baby, good. How you doing? How you doing?
Man, it is all good. Flash that thing right there. There you go. It's all good, man. How you been doing? It's been a ton of stuff going on in the league, and I know you've been watching with all of this stuff going on with the things that you have to deal with. You are now the head coach of Warner University. Is that right?
Warner University, yes, sir. Like Wells, Florida.
All right, you down at the bottom somewhere.
The bottom.
Now, how was that situation, knowing with our history at Eastern Kentucky, and like what's some things that you figured out a little bit different than what we thought it was like back when we were in school?
Oh man, it's a lot of different factors, that weigh in. Some of the things are still the same.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of money you can give out, but we were on full scholarships, so
yeah.
Now it's not like that here on this level. We only have a certain pot, 24, that we have to break up amongst the whole team. So you're talking 115 guys.
Wow.
That we have to break up. So it's tough. You have to strategize. It really forces you to be a GM, pretty much. GM role. Figure out the strengths and weaknesses of the guys, the values. Assess the rosters, all of that. So with that part of it is we never looked at it that way, because we just thought that, hey, you was handed a full scholarship and you just went and played. But like I said, I learned very quickly that only so much you can offer. So with that, and then just being on the other side where you look at changing guys' lives, by being able to offer them a position, on a scholarship, so that they can go forth and set their careers ahead.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Have you what kind of feedback, pushback, or just overall experience, if you've had any thus far with all this NIL stuff?
Well, on this level, it haven't really trickled down yet.
Okay.
It's beginning to do it. It's in the beginning stages, but I tell you, it definitely is a game changer. It's a game changer where, a guy can go and get money and assess his worth and negotiate deals and things where it's a lot of things outside of the game that they are dealing with, rather than just going and play.
Right.
So it's a lot of stuff that's going to come with it. You're talking about, you negotiate these, especially these big deals, that now you almost got a league mentality that, hey man, I can't get hurt. I'm gonna lose this money over here, or I'm not gonna play in this game because I'm looking at the next level, which had already started. Guys not playing in bowl games. So
you're right.
On one side is good that they do get a chance to earn money, because it ain't nothing like having money in your pocket.
Absolutely.
Being broke, in college. But for us, that struggle allowed us to, really appreciate what we had, and as we ventured out into the real world, we were prepped and ready. Now, like I say, guys are different, because now financial literacy even more is important.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's almost like I remember when we was in school. I don't know if you were still She was still there when Joan Hopkins was still doing the etiquette class and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember her telling us, like, you gonna need this at one point. She was 100% right.
Right.
She's 100% right. But now you got to flip that. Now these kids need to come in taking business classes, like you said, financial literacy, all of that kind of stuff, man. Because with those options of a little bit more of financial opportunities, it's only a matter of time before there's going to be some kid that gets taken advantage of, or some craziness that they haven't quite figured out how to skirt the system yet. But somebody's going to figure that out eventually.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You just look at the other. I look at the other side. Hey, the pressure that these companies and everything will put on these guys to, make sure they perform, and what about the shady deals? For the guys that don't perform, and now you're looking at a whole different level. So it's a lot of, red tape that's going into this thing. But it's funny that you say that, because when I was a high school coach, they started paying the guys. I forget what it's called. It was tuitions. Really? It's like a cost of tuition type of deal based on where they came from. And I mean, these guys could go, especially if they was in a Power 5 school, they could get like $16,000 a year.
In high school?
Coming from high school.
Coming from high school. Okay.
Yeah, into college, not the NIL deal. I forget. It'll come to me in a minute. But I remember having a guy who was a North Carolina commit, and University of North Carolina, and he showed me the breakdown, and I was like, man, I said, first of all, you're getting everything paid for. You getting stipends, and you're going to get this money. I said, man, if you don't touch this money, you're gonna come out of school with almost $100,000.
Absolutely. You can come out of school with retirement already.
Yes, with a great start. And so definitely the money factor is there on that level. Like say, you cheer for them to, get all that they can get off of, what they're bringing to the table. But at the same time, you want them to be smart with what they're doing. So you just hope that they have someone in their corners to, cheer them on and guide them the right way, because adding that layer on us as head coaches, and assistant coaches is another factor, besides winning ball games that you got to now deal with.
Right. The only, I guess, silver lining in that is I would say that now kind of you don't have to worry about, shutting down your program because you bought some kid a pizza. Or, you gave a kid a couple bucks to send back to his mom because they don't have no money. Like all of them stories we used to hear about. Yeah. And, and it was always us in a situation like that. And it always seemed like, and I'm sure there was some white athletes, but it always seemed like it was black athletes that found themselves in them situations.
Right.
And those schools knew what they were doing with them kids. Those schools know how much money them kids bring in, and and then when we got out, then you started seeing NCAA football video games and all of that kind of stuff, and it's like who wears that number? So it does matter. So it on one hand, it is good to see that now you can get some compensation for what you bring into the table. They can call it student athletes all you want, but when that one student brings in, is selling $500,000 a year in jerseys, that's a little bit more than the average. So
whole lot.
At least they're seeing their worth, but there is a dark side to it, and somebody got to be looking out for them kids, man. Somebody got to be looking out for them kids.
It's almost, it changes the whole landscape of your administration team.
Yeah, man.
Not just the coaches, but now you're gonna have to bring a whole separate department in just to help control that part of it.
Yeah,
and look out for. You got the transfer portal. You got especially with the bigger schools, you got guys just monitoring that part of it. And so now bringing this piece in, you'll need someone in there monitoring this part of it. So it's definitely big business. It's big business.
I can see these schools, especially the big schools, they're gonna start having like financial advisors for the student athletes.
Right.
So that's the way it goes, man. But dude, when you're talking about, dealing with these kids and what you gotta oversee, and then you see this story with Dwayne Haskins, man, I was like, and I was trying to I don't know if you saw my Facebook post, I was like, people was giving me pushback on my Facebook fan page because yes, I'm from Philly and I got Philadelphia everything on it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm in the Kansas City Chiefs stuff because of Jason, Carolina stuff, Oakland stuff. I'm trying to talk to all teams, fans of everybody. And people give me pushback like, you're not one of our fans. And I'm like, listen, as a former player, we are all connected.
Exactly.
We're all connected. So when you see something like that, when you see 24 years old and just gone.
Right.
And I was trying to tell people like that affects everybody. That sends ripples throughout the league.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's a kid that had a bright future and is just gone like that.
Yeah.
And they don't understand that.
Yeah, it's tough, especially it's ground up. You look at it in high school because, when I was playing, I had two of my teammates to pass my junior and senior year. Well, I go and start coaching, and in 17, I had a player to pass. And like you say, it's going to stick with you for forever. I mean, I still think about those two guys. I still think about the one that passed, when I was at LaGrange High. So it never leaves you, and it's definitely affects everybody around. Everybody around it affects them. With D Hash, you look at what he went through to stay in the league, what he went through to get in the league, and now. All that hard work, that sacrifice to, now have this happen to him. It's like, man, he lost his life, but then his family, lost the loved one as well. So it's definitely, like you say, affects not just his family, but the whole NFL community as well, because it's something else, Marcus, I tell you, sitting inside of those rooms, man, and you are competing against each other and those guys. And, even though you're competing, you have a bond there.
Yes,
you have
do.
a bond. The locker room talks and things like that. So, like you say, it's an automatic connection that you have because you understand what the circumstances are like.
Yeah, that's the one thing fans don't really understand. To your point, that competition, every year somebody's coming for your job. But when it's all said and done, there's a brotherhood that's indescribable. It's just there. When you get into the guts of it and you've been grinding 2-a-days and all the stuff we used to do, it's impossible to avoid it. You build a brotherhood, you're dealing with people you don't normally deal with, and you get that experience and it changes you. Period.
Right.
It changes you. And that's the one thing most people on the outside looking in really don't get a chance to see. I mean, I had a cup of coffee with the Eagles. I didn't play very long, but I'm still super tight with the dudes that were there when I was there. Period. Because once you win, you win.
I was telling my guys this today. I was talking to my receiver group today, and not my receiver group. It was a recruit that came in yesterday, 2 days ago, and on our team, our coaching staff, we have 5 guys that played in the NFL. 2 of them that's coached in the NFL. And I was telling them, I said, do you understand how many professional football players it is? If you count the number of jobs, once it all said and done, it's like 3,500 jobs.
Right.
And I say 3,500 out of, you look at and count how many college football players. I say 0.01%. I say
top 1% of your class.
1%. I say, but in this office, Warner University, you got 5 guys that was part of that 0.1%. So we understand what it takes to get there, the grind that it takes to get there. Having sat there, whether you played 13 years or whether you played for 5 minutes, you was part of an elite group of the best players in the world. In the world, not just in the United States, but in the world, you can say that you was a part of that group. And so, like I said, it's a respect factor, and that's the factor that players, respect. You're going to have your superstars, but everybody's not a superstar.
Right.
Everybody's going to contribute in that organization some type of way. And so guys know, who the real deal, and guys know, like I hear Primetime say, it's a whole nother room.
I'm just about to say that. I'm just about to say I like what he's doing. I like that he is as big as a star as he is. I like the biggest thing that I like about him is he is bringing everything to ground level.
Yeah,
he's keeping it real. I saw the videotape today. It was on YouTube where he had they must have had a bad practice, and the only thing he said, he called out a coach. He said, "Tell the truth. How we look today. Tell the truth." And he's keeping everything ground level, and that's the one thing. And I think that's becoming infectious. Across college football, and especially with the HBCUs. So I'm very happy to see that. The one thing I did want to get into, you being a coach, your experience and your time in Chicago. What's your thoughts on all this Brian Flores stuff, man? This is, you knew it was there, but finally it's been out in the open. And I'm curious as to your thoughts on it, especially being a black coach in Chicago and what you had to get through or go through to even get that opportunity.
Wow. Well, it's just the story with me before I talk about Coach Flo. Coach Nagy, Matt Nagy, and I played together in Arena League. Okay. And so when he got the chance to go to Kansas City and things like that, I always followed him. He was in Kansas City. He was in Philly. That's where he really grinded at, up there in Philly. And so when he got the position in Chicago, I just called and congratulated him and, told him, hey, good luck, man. Go and do your thing. And so I had been a part of the Bill Walsh program. I did it in Tennessee in 2018 with the Titans.
That's right. I remember that.
When Braves, his first year.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay. So he went his first year and, did his thing. And it struck me and said, okay, D, what do you want to do? And I was like, man, I'm trying to, go to the league. I said, well, let me reach out and, see if I could, go with Nags up there. Hey, I just want to get in, just see the process. That's pretty much it. And so, Marcus, I called that joker for 3 years straight. And it wasn't about, hey, man, I want a job. Hey, man, I need a job. And he actually said this in the team meeting once he introduced me. But he said he was so impressed with me being persistent in my efforts. Hey, after a bad game, I'll call and say, hey, man, keep your head up. You know how we grind. And I say something stupid to him and, send some smiley faces. And then he knew what I wanted. And I just wanted the opportunity. And I remember with my first day walking in the facility, he said, now you're here. He said, that's all I'm going to do. That's it.
Right.
So I said, that's all I needed. So I'm beating you here, and I'm,
good work.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be the last one to leave. That was my mentality. But I asked him one day, we was eating lunch, and he's very busy, but he just asked me, say, DB, how you doing, man? I said, man, I'm loving it. And he said, what you think about coaching? He said, you played it. He said, but what do you think about the coaching side of it? I said, Nag, I say, man, being able to coach the most elite guys in the world, I said, man, it's phenomenal. I say, now, I just got to get used to the terminology and the the structure part of it. I said
Right.
everything else, I mean, it's the same mindset as a player that I took. I took a coaching approach. Then he said, well, let me tell you, he said, a lot of pro players can't coach. And I said, what do you mean? He's like, if you look at the grind part of it, how many are willing to come in at 5:30 in the morning,
Do it again,
10 o'clock at night?
Mm-hmm.
He said, that's the mystique around us as former players, is that they don't feel that we can grind. And so I was like, well, I'm all about the grind.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all about the grind. And so I just took that to note and took that to heart and said, hey, I understand. I got to pay my dues. I get it. And so that set forth that opportunity, for me to just get in the door and see what the process is like. And, so you're sitting around the tables and, guys have their spots and things, and you hear them start talking and, explaining football, and you see, okay, what's their relationship like with the players, and,
Right.
can they motivate the players, and, can they coach the players, and is interesting that a lot of the guys, like I said, they take the former players because you've been through, what they've been through. You physically done it.
Right.
The question is, can you teach it?
Mm-hmm.
That's the question. Can you teach it? And so I had the luxury of actually seeing Coach Flores this past training camp because we practiced against him.
Okay.
So I just watched his mannerisms, and we actually talked for a little bit. But when the story broke, it was like, boom, unfortunate deal. I mean, very unfortunate when you're talking about limited opportunities that, organizations know who they want. They know how they want it, and they'll fulfill certain processes just to check a box. And so, I really respect his stance and what he did, because he's battling one of the most powerful entities, in the world.
Absolutely.
And it's bringing to light that guys are qualified to do the job. Him and Coach Tomlin. Coach Tomlin, I've heard of, a lot of stories about just how he breaks it down, and, the challenges he has, the questions that he gets in his interviews that a lot of other coaches, don't get. So
don't get that nonsense.
So with us, minority candidates is definitely an uphill battle. But you just have to understand and just pray that God will place you where He wants you, in a timely fashion. But I definitely support him and hope the best for him.
Yeah, man. I the one thing that struck me about that whole situation, and like you was, we know what it is. We know how it is, and we understand what it takes. Sometimes fair and unfair.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the one thing that struck me, I was like, when you heard the whole story about the call from Belichick, the text, and all of that kind of stuff, the one thing you can never do, don't waste somebody's time. If you don't want to go my way, I understand that. You got a difference of opinion. That's cool. But don't waste my time.
Mm-hmm.
And I said this, and then I just heard, I don't know if you've heard the Mike Malarkey interview when he was at Tennessee. Have you heard that yet?
I haven't heard that one yet.
Oh my God.
I saw the headlines, but I haven't heard.
Yeah, basically somebody asked him about biggest regret. And he was talking about when he was hired in Tennessee, the owner had already told him that he was the guy. And he watched like 4 other people go through a sham interview when he already knew he got the job. And he said he just felt bad about that. And the one thing that he said, and I said the same thing, is people don't understand the amount of preparation that goes into going in an interview like that. You don't just walk in with a resume.
No.
You got to have a game plan. They throwing scenarios at you, and you got to have your I's dotted and your T's crossed across the board. Your ducks better be in a row. So it is a serious preparation to even go into one of those interviews. And when you do something like that and got to go through all of that preparation and they waste your time, that's the problem. That's the problem. Because time is the one thing you cannot get back. You take my money, I can steal yours back. I can't give you back time. Once it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah,
great point. So when when you waste somebody's time like that, that's when it's like I could have been doing something else.
Yeah, it definitely puts a bad taste in your mouth because it's like, okay, if that's who you're going to go with, well, just go with them. Don't satisfy a quota. That makes me even more upset.
Right.
When I'm knowing that I don't have a chance, to make an impact. It's just, hey, you just next in line, and we're just waiting till everybody's out. And so that's why I say you have to have, your faith in God, and He puts us through things that will make us stronger, and He understands where we need to be when we need to be there. And so that's what I look at. I look at it as a preparation deal, because let me tell you, 2 years ago, was it 2? Yeah, 2 years ago, I filled out 52 job applications.
Yeah.
52. Guess how many calls I got back? Not a one. Not a one. And I'm talking not just Division I level. I'm talking D3, all of them. And it just was not the right time.
Right.
And so everything that came across the school, hey, I was sending that resume out. It was hot. And then one day, I'll never forget, Coach Kiffin, when he was down in at FIU, he had a receiver's job that opened up. And so I called a good friend of mine, Derek Ansley, and asked him, I was like, hey, I want to put in for this position. And so he's like, are you serious? I said, yeah, man, I'm dead serious. And he was like, okay, well, I get you the information, send your resume to him. And so I, got it together. He sent me the info, sent my resume, Marcus, and I got a call about 5 minutes later from the secretary. And she said, Coach, she said, I just want, just inform you that, are you sure you're applying for the right place? I was like, yes, ma'am. He was like, but you have the wrong school on the resume. I was like, are you serious? And so I was just that out of the loop to where I had sent it out so many times, I forgot to change the doggone school on the resume.
Oh, damn.
And so at that time, I heard God he spoke loudly to me. He said, now it's time for you to sit down and wait. It's time for you to sit down and wait. He said, you've done it your way, and you've seen what you've gotten.
Right.
And so I sat and waited, and like I said, that's when, I just start filling out and just talking to Nags every now and then. Boom, the Chicago deal opened up. And actually, I interned with them 2 years. 1 year was a COVID year, but they didn't bring anybody in. So I had to do it all online.
Online, yeah.
And then the following year, which was this past training camp, I got a chance to go for the entire process from day one till the end of camp. I told them I wasn't going to be denied, and, it was fun that players recognized it. I was with the running backs and special teams, and, they told me, DB, you staying, man. We're going to Nags. I was like, hey, man, that's on y'all. But it was just the right timing for everything. And then this opens up. And so even though it was a quote unquote, some people might say lower level job, my thing is I wanted to get into college coaching as a head coach. And hey, this is where I got to start. This is where I got to start. But I'm happy, phenomenal place here. And I get to coach football every day. So everything has a certain timing for everything. But unfortunately, we do have to go through the mud sometimes in order to get there.
Yes, sir.
So, I don't look at it as a slap in the face. This is just my mentality is, hey, sometimes you get your clothes dirty and you get up, clean them off, and you keep going. But somebody's gonna see you.
Yeah, man.
One to like you. That's it.
We come from that era, man. We're not afraid to do the work.
Yeah.
We're not afraid to do the work, man. And it's like, even and that actually trickles down into my next question, man. Because of course in Philly, I'm sure you've heard about the Ben Simmons stuff. And then we got the Jalen Hurts stuff going on. And it's like, we are in an era where everybody wants the results, but it seems like don't nobody want to do the work. Everybody, they got this kid, Jalen Hurts, in here, had a good first year, but it's always something wrong. He not throwing the ball well. And I mean, the criticisms are valid, but it's like the whole process of letting a player grow to what they can be and reaching a potential. It's like, everybody's so impatient. And it's like the best of the best. Troy Aikman went 1-15 his rookie year. Drew Brees was garbage his first year. Like, all of these great quarterbacks took their lumps. And it's like, none of these young kids, nobody wants to take their lumps. And one of the situations we have in this year, and I want your opinion as a coach, because you're gonna have to come across this, is when you got those dudes on your team that ain't up to snuff, and you gotta, like, listen, you either gotta show up or sit down. And we've had some issues with the top pick, Jalen Reagor, hasn't been playing up to par, and it's like, when are you gonna take that step to sit him down? Because the best coaches know how to do that. It's nothing personal. You're a great kid. You're a great person. But I got to do what's best for the team. And right now, there's somebody better than you, so I got to make that move.
Yeah. And, oh, man, I can talk all day on this one. Okay, let me sit up a little bit. Well, you got, first of all, you look at the star factors, okay? The fives, the fours, the threes. Okay, what does that system mean? Now, granted, you have next level players, and you have players who are not there yet. Not saying that they can't do it, but they're not there yet. Developmental. But if you put them in the right environment, now you will see, them blossom. Okay. Then you got the portal. So you add in the stars with the transfer portal. Okay. Where you can just go and handpick what you want, okay? There is no time for development. Everything is already developed. I just go to the grocery store, get what I want, come home and cook it. Now we eat. Okay?
I didn't think about that.
So now that mentality is in the league now. I mean, that's where everybody's going to. It's in high school. It's in college. And so the system has come down to where now it's like, hey, you ain't cutting. I'm gonna go find somebody that's getting it. So it's like you say, it is a factor of impatience. Now you get a kid, like you say, who, hey, I'm bringing you in here to do it. You are that guy, but I'm also bringing in another guy. And so now the thing is, you have to compete. So my thing is, if you don't do it, he will. Okay. And even further, let's go a step further. If you do it, if you've done it last week and you may had a ball, I mean, a heck of a game, but this week in practice, you stunk, but that guy behind you lit it up. Come on over here with me and let's share some memories, because you're getting ready to watch. You're getting ready to watch with me, because now I'm not going to allow you to get comfortable, because if I allow you to get comfortable, now you feel you're running the camp.
Right.
Players feel they'll run. No, you're going to fight each and every day for what you get. That's why I tell them, I said, there's three things I'm going to promise you. I'm going to promise you a helmet, shoulder pads, and cleats. That's it. That's all I'm going to give you. I said, I'm not giving you nothing else. And then they sit there and look at it. I said, it's on you.
Yeah, man.
It's you to use that. I said, that's your opportunity. I said, because everybody don't get a helmet, shoulder pads, and cleats now.
Yeah, man. You sound a little bit like that's a Jack Isonism. right there.
Yeah, that's what I give you. So it is, and they'll appreciate it more. They do want it,
Right.
but they are looking for those atmospheres where, hey, if I can go here and flip this hat and get this and that. And what they really don't understand is once they get them there, the coach is going to do that to them anyway. Because my job's on the line. Yep. His job is on the line. So you sit there and play you want to. I don't have time because I'm not trying to be out in the cold. Mm-hmm. So whether they're making millions or not, it's some when they say that they don't want you no more that do something to you where the millions go out the window because now your pride and ego is out there.
Yes, sir.
So
yes, sir.
You get that stepped on, that's a whole different ball game there.
They will promote you to fan very quickly.
Exactly. Exactly. So guys got to compete, man. They have to.
Yes, sir, man. Well, all right, man. I done hit my list, brother, man. I appreciate you taking some time with me, man. I know you super busy. Hey. You are the head ball coach.
Hey, that's what I signed up for.
Yes, sir.
That's what I signed up for. I know I was going to be busy. My wife knew I was going to be busy, but she really don't care about it. She still want her time, but
absolutely.
But she's loving it. I have to take my hats off to Patricia Campbell Burks. She is a phenomenal woman that allows me to do this. A lot of sacrifices are made. On the side of a coach's wife, the kids, they all sacrifice in ways that a lot of people don't see, so that we can do this right here. So, and time is one of them because we're spending more time with other people's kids, trying to get them right than our own. Sometimes. So, I pray every day. If I'm wrong, please tell me. And she will. Don't have a problem doing it. But the kids as well. If it's something that you really need from daddy that you're not getting, please tell me so I can stop and give it to you.
Do not. ESP was not in the in the blueprint.
Right. Yeah.
Takes a team to run a team, man.
Takes
a team to run a team.
That's it. Oh, I like that one. I'm gonna steal that one.
You can have it. You can have it, man. That's good. You can take it. You ain't got to tell them I came up with it. Just take it.
Now I'm gonna tell them I came up with it. You know how we do. We all steal now. We steal and put our name on it.
It's all good, brother, man. Well, I appreciate you talking with me, man. It's so good to see you, brother. I'm gonna be following you this year. Hopefully, we can. You have to let me know what cable channel, YouTube network, whatever's gonna be in, so I can check you out.
Okay.
Check you out doing your thing, man. And I appreciate you, and I love you, brother. Keep holding up that light, that A5 light, man.
You know that. Hey.
And I am determined. I am gonna get a call together, like me, you, Dunn, and I'm gonna get a couple other EKU vets.
Ooh.
And we're gonna have a conversation, man, and have some fun.
Man, you're gonna need a part 1 and 2.
We can do
those jokers on.
We can do it. But man, let me let you get out of here so you can go home and take care of your family, man, and get yourself some sleep, brother. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you, big brother.
And we will definitely talk again, bro.
Yes, sir. All right. Thank you.
You got it, man. Take care.
All right.
That's my dude, Dialleo Burks. Came through, played for Philly, Carolina. I remember seeing him on the sidelines with Chicago for a bit. And proud to say that's my brother and my teammate. And he's doing some great things down in Florida. So I will have him on the watch. And you should too. Check him out. You got a kid looking for somewhere to go to school and learn some football under a good coach. Check out Warner University. But we are rolling through. Got about 5 minutes left. One of the things I wanted to talk about, we touched on it earlier, was the Cam Newton thing. And I wanted to get into that because obviously when I came up, I graduated college in 93. So I was with the Eagles 93, 94, World League 95, 6, and 7. before I finally shut it down. And then obviously I was in played for the Hamilton Ticats in Canada. But social media didn't exist. And it's weird, as much as I am into technology. I sound like the old guy talking about get off my lawn, because it was just different, man. If you had something to say, you had to go to the coach. I'll never forget, I was upset because at the time we had, I think Byron Evans had broke his ankle or something. Kenny Rose, who was our special teams captain, had broke his ankle. No, I think Byron Evans was hurt. Something was wrong. Kenny Rose broke his ankle. We had veterans, starters, who were playing on special teams. And I remember going to Kotite's office. Rich Kotite was the head coach. And I remember going to his office and asking for an opportunity to play on special teams. So the defensive starters didn't have to. And now, like you had, and my point is, I had to go see him. I had to talk to that dude face to face. Like, this is what I want. And didn't work out in my favor because, you know, he didn't want to do that. But at the end of the day, I had to go see him face to face to make that request. Now, you seeing all these, like Chris had said earlier, Debo is taking all of the 49er stuff off of his Facebook page and, you know, off of his social media. And I think Kyler Murray did the same thing. And it seems as if a lot of these situations could be handled one way or the other. Everything is not always going to go your way, but you can at least have a conversation. That way, there is no misunderstanding. And that's the problem. Everybody's trying to position. I understand the money is the ultimate issue because you want the best contract and you all of that kind of stuff. Everybody's trying to position, but the minute you talk to somebody, there should be no misunderstanding. And it seems like a lot of these players these days, they just don't do that. That's just not the environment anymore. Everybody's sending messages. Let me put something on my Twitter account. Let me put something on Facebook. Let me put something on Instagram. Let me have my agent leak something to somebody at ESPN so they can say they heard it and get the ball moving. So nobody really talks anymore until you're in a situation where you absolutely have to. And I think that's at a detriment to the league. That's at a detriment to the players. Because you got to come see me. If you got something, if you don't like how I'm doing something, tell me. I'm not trying to figure it out. I'm not trying to guess. I don't have psychic abilities. So tell me. And this environment right now, with what's going on, it's just crazy. I'm with you, Derry. Stay off social media. The problem with that is these players are making so much money on social media, you can't stay away from it. It's the same way I look at, like, I'm a gamer. I'm a video gamer. I love video games. And I remember my mom and dad's, go outside and play. Stop wasting your time sitting in front of that television playing video games. Well, guess what? It's people playing video games making six-figure salaries now. So you can't say that anymore. Social media used to be something that the kids used to do with Facebook and MySpace and all when it was first in its infancy. Nobody took it seriously. And I never forget seeing news channels, CNN and places like that, doing stories on the way kids were wasting their time on social media. And then a couple of months later, you're seeing a live Twitter feed on CNN on the broadcast. And it was like, well, you just a couple months ago, you said it was 180 degrees. What happened? What happened is the money happened. So it is what it is. But that is something that I want to talk to, because people are hanging themselves with this social media thing. People are costing themselves money with social media and their actions, and I guess the ego that comes with being in an elite position and thinking you can do whatever it is that you want to do. You look at Will Smith, you look at Cam Newton, you look at you look at Brian Flores and that whole situation. That was leaked because of social media. To my point earlier, old folks sometimes don't understand how this stuff works. But we'll get into that a little bit more. A lot of stuff going on. It's going to be a lot of news coming out because we are 1 week closer to the NFL draft. And I'm seeing some other stuff coming out. I saw somebody posted something and said they went back and watched all of Malik Willis's stuff at Liberty, said they weren't impressed. You know, what makes you impressed? If he would have thrown the same, there's a stigma that's attached to smaller schools, and it's a shame. If you can throw 60 yards and read a defense, you can throw 60 yards and read a defense. It just shouldn't matter if you're playing against North Dakota State, if you're playing against Eastern Kentucky, or if you're playing against Alabama. You think the kids at Alabama don't make mistakes? Or somebody there doesn't run the wrong defense or make, it happens at every level. And it shouldn't, I mean, if you're good enough to play, you're good enough to play. So small schools end up being, well, he's not going to be good at this level because he played at a small school. Why? The defenses they run at the small schools are the same defenses they run at the big school. The difference is the adjustment period. Because now your number one wide receiver is being checked by a corner that can run a 4-3. So you got to make some adjustments. You got to throw the ball higher. You got to do something different or run a different route. There's a lot more going to it than just, well, he can't compete because he went to a small school. But in any case, topic for another day. And about time to get out of here. Appreciate y'all checking up with me, stopping by. I appreciate Dialleo Burks. Thank you again, brother, for spending time with me and give me a piece of your time. We will be checking you out at Warren University. And smash the like button. Tell somebody to check in and join our live chat. And if you are a member of any sports fan group, tell your people in your group to join the page. I'm always looking for other people to join and get opinions in the chat. I'm very active in the chat. I'm very active on Facebook during the week with other Facebook groups. I will contribute. I won't just be looking to start trouble. I don't like, my slogan is we keep it 100 and we leave the toxic on the bench. And that's what we're trying to do. So, all right. I will see you guys next week. Bring a friend. Tell somebody about me. And let's make this thing grow. My Facebook fan page is almost at 500. So we're trying to reach there. So join up. I would appreciate it. And if you know somebody who had missed the broadcast, let them know as soon as this is over with, they can go to the link and see it. Vince, thanks for showing up, brother. I'll see you next week, man. So you guys have a good night. And I will see you next week. Appreciate you. Peace.